Good morning. I invite you to look at this flame so that we can honor the Christ light within us. And let this flame remind you that you are this light, that the Christ lives through you and everyone. May you see this light in everyone you meet, and may they see it in you. Let us take this time to open this service in prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes if you wish and turn within. Let us just take a deep breath and relax. And we let go of any busyness of the morning so that we can be here now together. And we center in our hearts in this place of love, divine love. And here we meet as a community in love, cherishing our time together, knowing the perfection of this now moment. And we are grateful for all that came together today, this morning, in divine mind, that we could show up, that our eyes and ears would be open to the message, that we could expand and grow in our consciousness, that we may be of greater service to this world. And for the knowing of this truth, of these teachings, of this love, of this light that sets us free, we release this prayer and we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is. Amen.
Thank you, Susan. Good morning, bonjour, bienvenue, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa's online Sunday service. I am Brenda Mason, and it's my pleasure to facilitate the service this morning. I'd like to first take this moment to recognize the Algonquin Nation, on whose traditional, unceded territory we gather to share this online service. We gratefully acknowledge them as past, present, and future stewards of this land. Miigwech. Now, think about this and try and say it without a bit of coffee. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes the thing that runs my life. Enjoy.
I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. choose to be the light that brightens someone's darkest night. I'm so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life.
Ma, doesn't the energy of that just surge through you? Oh, don't you feel so much better than you did 5 minutes ago? I can choose to be the light that brightens someone's darkest night. I'm so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. Ah, welcome to September. Cooler temperatures, that feeling of change that always seems to occur on Labor Day weekend. And I'm sure there are lots of families in our community dealing with anxiety this weekend as school about to start under these conditions. So we hold all families facing uncertainties in September in our prayers. What can I do? I can choose to be the light that brightens someone's darkest night. And notice, it doesn't say that I have to do what I think a light should do. I need only be a light. Our special guest this morning, Cheryl Driskell, is referring to the universal web, weaving our lives together through the power of love. So light and love this morning here at Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa. Call it love, call it light, call it energy, call it God. It's at the center of our vision here at USCO, an awakened world celebrating oneness. In choosing to be the light, to weave our lives together in the power and presence of love, we engage our mission, expanding consciousness, transforming lives. And when we pool our light, I think that's the beauty of community. My light can shine, like I always picture a street lamp. My light can shine and illuminate a certain area, but when there are poles all the way down the street, the whole neighborhood is lit up, much more so than the one light shining from the one pole. So that's our spiritual community, so the light of love. The Unity Worldwide Ministries 2020 theme is Perfect Vision, seeing through a spiritual lens. The view may seem better on some days than others as the months go by. Just know it's all good. Anything other than love that we see through that lens is just an old story that's coming up for us to look at. And we can always, as the Course in Miracles says, choose peace instead of this. And we have a new theme for the month of September. Our theme for the month is home. Doesn't that seem perfect for this time of year when we approach harvest and the beginning of our preparations to batten down for the colder months? We have a new affirmation this month that's on the screen, and I invite you to affirm along with me together. My search for home is already mapped. The way is written on my heart. I love that idea. The way is written on my heart. The way it's there. It's there. It's there. It's all I need to know. It's there. I don't need to question it. I don't need to worry about it. I just have to bask and rest in the knowing that my search for home is already mapped. The way is written on my heart. We don't have the video this Sunday. It is in the newsletter. If you'd like to see the supporting video that Unity Worldwide Ministries has provided, that's where you'll find it. And we'll try and have it here on the Zoom call next week. However, moving on to our announcements, it's a big week this week because it is World Day of Prayer. And we're invited to join thousands worldwide this Wednesday and Thursday, September 9th and 10th, for the 27th annual World Day of Prayer, as we unite heart and mind with people from around the globe to affirm, standing in truth, I move from fear to faith. And let's affirm that together. Standing in truth, I move from fear to faith. This is a fully online event, and you can follow along on both Facebook and YouTube. There's a full schedule of events with some really A-list speakers. When you go and search into it, you can get full information online at unity.org/WDOP. And there are lots of ways you can participate personally in World Day of Prayer. You can submit an online prayer request to Unity. You can light a candle. This should be our practice every day. Every day should be World Day of Prayer, but we're making it a special event in September. Light a candle, take a moment, and just be with the presence and the power that breathes you. And you can join the events, as I mentioned, on Facebook and YouTube live as they stream. So that's September, Wednesday and Thursday this week. Also coming up, Wednesdays, starting September 16th and going through to November 2nd, it's a self-awareness course facilitated by Reverend Pat Ball and available for an SEE credit, exploring the dimensions of self and experiencing various systems and techniques for self-awareness and becoming more conscious, again, of your attitudes. Notice what you're noticing, as Mary Morrissey says, beliefs, your ways of being, to notice, and then let them go. It'll be Wednesdays across Canada. Locally here, it will be 8 o'clock Eastern, 2 hours, 8 to 10. You can register at revpatball@gmail.com, and they'd like the registration completed by September 13th. A suggested love offering of $10 to $20 per session, where your prosperity level is at, payable to our local ministry. So, self-awareness Wednesdays, starting September 16th. As well, you have the opportunity to participate in a research program through St. Thomas University in Fredericton. They're conducting research on spirituality with a focus on new thought. So they're looking for some participants. It'll involve 2 interviews. They're confidential. They'll each be 1.5 to 2 hours. I don't know the content. Wouldn't it be interesting to further research, though, in spirituality? It's an aspect of our being that kind of we focus on the science, the physical science, and often we neglect the spiritual science that's as important. So this is available, and there are full details in the newsletter of how you can get connected with the people in Fredericton. Foundations of Unity class, presented by Allison, Sunday, September 18th, after service. The history, principles, and key teachings of Unity. It'll be a Zoom call after the service, and it's required for membership in Unity. So I will be there because I missed the last one to participate, and I hope you will be joining us. You can register at through the office Unity Ottawa at yahoo.ca. And even if you are a member and would like to refresh what you know with a deeper understanding, this would be the opportunity to do so on October 18th. Mark it in your calendar. Okay, that's enough of me talking. Let's listen to, one more, Dan, you have the newsletter. It's all in there. You can, if you're not already online, office Unity Ottawa at yahoo.ca will sign you up. There's lots of great information about everything I just talked about and more. And as I was saying, you've heard a lot from me. Let's listen to Daniel Maymard saying, "Love is my decision."
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
One of the unique things about Unity is a little publication called The Daily Word. And it has been available as a small booklet is how it started, and has been published by Unity for decades. Grandmothers used to had the habit of reading the Daily Word. It's now available online at dailyword.com in an online format also, as well as the little booklet that you can make available there. One of our community treasures is Lynn Atterbury, and she's here now to read today's Daily Word. Good morning, Lynn. You're muted, Lynn. Unmute yourself.
Muted again. There we go. Okay. All right. So today's daily word is on world peace. I imagine a world transformed by peace and love. World peace begins within my mind and heart. Closing my eyes, I breathe deeply and envision every person bringing forth the love and peace of God. I see all the world's people surrounded by a healing light that transforms strife, anger, and division into reconciliation, peace, and unity. As I hold this vision, I see the entire world aglow with radiance. Harmony and cooperation heal the world's wounds and encourage love to flower in each person's heart. I carry this vision throughout my day. Divine love, expressing as me, sees oneness regardless of apparent differences. Divine wisdom and understanding illumine my thoughts, inspire my words, and guide me to act in ways that bring peace to this world. And this is brought from Matthew 5:9. Blessings are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God.
Thank you, Lynn. Prayer is central to the unity movement, and we're blessed in this community to have a team of trained prayer partners, people who can pray with you and for you as need be. And there's one always on duty all through the week, available to be with you in that way. Our prayer partner on duty this week is the beautiful Susan Hagar. Good morning again, Susan. I'll invite you now to take us through our time of prayer.
Thank you, Brenda. And so as we see here on the screen, this month of September, we are considering the power of love, which is the ability to attract, unify, and desire. The disciple is John, the color is pink, and the location is the back of the heart. And so we affirm together, I am a radiating center of love. And that is the truth. So let us say that again together. I am a radiating center of love. This month, we are holding in prayer Unity Spiritual Center Hamilton and Unity Kitchener. So let us take this time of prayer together to acknowledge those whose names you may have placed in the chat box, those that you are holding in our virtual prayer box, and those who you are holding in your heart for prayer. So let us take this time to turn within, and we center in this space of heart, in this space of love that we know is our guiding light. Let us meet here now, and let us always be acting from this place of love that is informing everything we do. And like Daniel Nahmad so rightly says, love is my decision right here and now. And so for whatever the circumstances are you may be contemplating, we know that there is love in all things, where there is physical problems, where we're looking for harmony in relationships, whatever the case may be. We know that divine mind is informing everything and that there is love there. And so let us hold that love for those who don't see it for themselves. Let us know of that light that is in every cell of our body, healing us, transforming us, expanding us, that we are rising up to our highest possibility, and we are bringing those along with us who may not yet see that for themselves. There is love and healing happening at all times in every moment. And we are blessed in the knowing of this love. And we can turn within and access it, knowing that joy, forgiveness, compassion, all of that is part of the love that is permeating our existence. And so together we affirm that love is our decision, and we move forward through our day, through our week, knowing that love is supporting us. And we are so grateful, and so it is. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Susan. That was so beautiful. Your energy and that moves the words really spikes directly to my heart. It's a very powerful message, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, now on to our special speaker this morning, Cheryl Driskell. And just before we move on, I want to make sure that if you're not on speaker view, now would be the time to switch to speaker view so that you can enjoy Cheryl's talk fully without distraction. I've done all that, explain it. Yes, good morning, Cheryl. It's so nice to have you with us again this Sunday. You're here most Sundays, and you've shared with us, and what many of you recall, Cheryl was here in August sharing with us, and I'm glad you're back. Cheryl's a Sufi teacher and has been, you are a student, and you've been a student and a teacher for a long time. And I think that's in the Sufi tradition, and I think that's admirable. to dedicate your career, essentially, and life to that. You teach individuals to seek the truth, guiding them through their heart to their own self-mastery. You offer workshops, healing sessions, training, and you're recently moved. So you've done an accomplished move at the same time, and now you're with your family just outside of Wakefield. We're so blessed you could find the time to be with us this morning, Cheryl, with your busy life. Now, your title to talk this morning is, it's got me intrigued, The Universal Web, Weaving Our Lives Together Through the Power of Love. Now, you've said that through every move, every thought and action, our energy ripples out through us to those closest to us in our web of experience. Everything is complexly, yet perfectly woven together. And that energy that we do this weaving with is love. So can you first tell us more about it? And then I'm looking forward to going through a meditation with you. Tell us more.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brenda. You said it earlier today when you were talking about being the light. That is certainly part of the universal web. So thank you for the invitation to speak again today. And I want to show you through the universal web how we weave our lives together through the power of love. So I'd like to begin with a teaching story. That is the Sufi way to use stories a lot in our teachings. And it is about an obvious gift of love from one of the teacher's students in the short story. But somehow the other person in the story can't feel the love coming from the student. But it doesn't matter to the student. He gives his love freely each day. He's affecting his part of the universal web. He's lighting himself up, like Brenda mentioned earlier. And it also has the power to alter the lives of others, both overtly and subtly within the web. So this little story is called Discipline at Work. The teacher is called Esmeralda, and she was sharing a teaching story amongst her own students. On this one occasion, she was speaking of one of the students who was still with her after many years. He was a very significant person amongst her students because he had profound discipline and an abundance of love. And when those two traits work together, it's amazing what good can arise out of both of them. She said, each day the student goes to work. He consistently takes the time to clear the path to the work site. But his employer has become very irritated with this worker. And the employer said, why do you waste your time and my money clearing this path so well? It is unnecessary. You can easily walk to and from the work site. And this employer was totally annoyed. And the student answered, well, I do this so there was less risk and greater flow. The smiling worker was filled with love. The employer said, oh, always something, as he limped away with his cane. And that's the story. You can see how the student was offering his love, but the employer was yet unable to feel it overtly, but he did receive the energy subtly. And in this next little story, I'm going to talk to you about the poet Rumi. He was a student of Shams-e Tabriz. Rumi became a devout seeker of truth because of Shams. And one of his famous quotes that you might know is right here. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and remove all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So those little walls, or the big walls that we carry from time to time that disallow us from being more present to the unity consciousness, for instance, that sense of balance and connection to all that is. So the story goes like this. A very well-known seer, the great Shams-e Tabriz, went to see Jalaluddin Rumi when the latter was teaching at the University of Konya in Turkey. He wasn't born there. He was born it's debated whether Afghanistan or Tajikistan. So the dervish, and that's Tabriz, approached Rumi appearing like a savage. So he was unclean, that's what it meant. This is an old story. The first thing he did was to seize Rumi's manuscripts and throw them into a nearby tank. That means garbage. So you have to understand that this approach is not uncommon to dervishes and the teachers of the time. It was a way of getting the attention needed to make change. So Rumi looked at him, wondering at his action of throwing away all that knowledge, and asked him to his reasons for that. And this seeming vagrant said to him, because you have been reading all your life, you should now do something more. You should understand what you are and where you are. Everything in front of you is spelled out in letters. If only you could read them, then you could read life, which is greater than any scripture, better than any tradition that you can be told. It would disclose the secret of all being. So Rumi, studying him and his expression and hearing all he said, was so won by him that he wrote down in his diary, the God who I have been worshiping all my life has appeared before me in the form of a man. And that's something that we are all witness to in each day, is seeing God or the loving source or the energy or the light in the beings around us. I love this story about Rumi. It was presented by one of my teachers originally. And I love that the light went on in Rumi, because something sparked an awareness that there was more to life than just seeking knowledge. There's an old saying that I love, and it goes, knowledge cannot be acquired, it is given. So essentially, you could read hundreds of books and not be able to live knowledge. You have to surrender. You have to then you will be given in multitude. It's through your efforts to surrender to the light, to become part of the unity consciousness, through your commitment, your devotion, your discipline, your practices, like thinking well, and your meditations and your prayers. So I want to talk a little bit about the third unity principle. We are guided to create our experiences by what we think. But I wondered then the kind of life Rumi was living until the man who became a sacred teacher literally threw his life's work into the garbage. But Rumi was ready for that. We are only able to make dramatic shifts in consciousness when we're ready. He was ready to accept that somehow a wise man was connected to his universal web of experience. And in divine order, this wise man showed up at the right moment in Rumi's life to wake him up. Before that, Rumi's life had been engaged in knowledge, but not in the thoughts that we use at Unity, not in the thoughts of love and compassion, of the loving source. His was in seeking intellectual knowledge. He had not taken the time to experience life's fullness and all of its beauty, its highs and its lows. He was using his mind as an intellectual tool. It was not a tool of faith. It was not a tool of loving strength and power. He had not allowed himself to engage and create with life in that way until he was woken up by Shamsi Tabriz. Interestingly, people and experience around us are always waking us up in small or great ways. Sometimes we notice the little wake-ups, but mostly we don't until something major shifts. It shifts us to expand. And this expansion is all done out of love. It's to guide us into greater expansion and to health and fullness, to the unity consciousness. The changes, the constant moving within the web is always guiding us to our greatest potential. And the energy is love. I will continue to make this clear as we go along. your path is also a reflection of the path of those around you. So let me explain this. It's part of the universal web. So whichever way our life goes, either through personal conscious will or the unconscious divine will that's always at play, we need to be aware that we are affecting everybody around us, and they too are affecting us. So not only do our spiritual practices of thinking, prayer, and meditation influence how our life will grow and expand, but they also affect how the lives of our closest and furthest connections will grow and expand as well. So I'm going to explain to you the universal web. I use this as a metaphor to explain how we are in our own little bubble of life, connected to others' little bubbles. Let's call these our souls, the part of us that continues through time and outside of time. And all of these little soul bubbles could be considered as part of entanglement theory. You might have heard that if you're interested at all in quantum theories. You may have heard that it is used to describe the way particles of energy can be correlated to predictably interact with each other, regardless of how far apart they are. And this is actually a real phenomenon. I like to integrate science with my work. And Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, how you can see things changing from one place and then similar changes at another through the connections. I felt for a long time that can also be explained to describe our oneness and our interdependence. Essentially, every move and every thought and every action of your energy ripples out through you to those in your web of experience. Everything is complexly yet perfectly woven together. And the important thing to know in all of this, the energy we do this weaving in our web with is the energy of love. In this case, it is invaluable to see love as the creation energy of all that is. So behind all that is a movement of energy constantly, is creating all the time. It's moving us forward in a very perfect order, beautiful, loving energy, working perfectly to keep us all together, expanding in the healthiest potential for all that is in any moment. I find that magnificent. It is the pure definition of love. I really do believe that when you are consciously or unconsciously moving energy, you are using the energy of love through you. No matter which way it goes, it is lovingly altering realities everywhere. So even through our errors, this creation energy will move to again get our web into a healthy, expansive state. So no matter what is happening in our lives, the energy of love, the creation force, is always moving us into an expansive, healthy place. You may have heard some teachers say, you create your own reality, for example. You are, through what you think and you practice, creating a reality, but you're also being affected by everything around you to varying degrees. There are the subtle energies. You can't see or feel them. And they are also the thoughts, feelings, and the actions of the people around you. You can't see or feel them either most of the time. As such, everything you experience reflects all that is and all that is going on in this bubble of energy that you are, and is also influenced in the universal web by the bubbles of energy of everybody else. This universal web is so perfectly woven and responds to every influence so immediately that the substance it is made of, and you might have heard of substance through the metaphysics work that you've done through Unity, which is the creative energy of love. It so perfectly adjusts to accommodate everybody's needs and long-term, short-term, as well as the trees and the plants and the animals' needs. And when we can learn to trust this process, trust that the energy we are co-creating with is pure love, then life becomes easier. We can rest. We can go, okay, so it will back me up. It's always there to support me and to encourage me. And if I drift out of order, as the divine order, it'll bring me back, hopefully gently. You know, it depends how far out of that order you go. That's the idea, to stay in flow with the divine order. And the web helps us by adjusting with its co-creative, loving energy. So I'd like to show you a picture of a universal web. So this is a metaphor. This is not science, though I think that it is could be shown as entanglement theory. So if you look to the far left, you'll see a bright yellow star with a little purple around the edges. So imagine that is you, okay? And everybody you know in your immediate family is in the blue stars, the white and the blue. And then outside of that would be the people that you work with or know relatively well, okay? And then outside of that are the people that might walk by you or own a store in your community, but you've seen them before or you've heard of them, okay? So you can see how we're all interconnected in your web. So at the center is you, and the entanglement of all webs and their effects upon each other are due to the energy of love, moving all energy, complexly working together to bring healthy movement forward for all, this expansion. So the closer the other souls, the other energy bubbles there to you, in terms of your genetics or your emotions or your commitments, and not how close you are physically. So you can live across the world from somebody who's in that blue star there, but they will have a profound effect on you because of how deeply connected you are already in your universal web. So your immediate family will be more affected. Even if you do not see them often or live near them, you are entangled. So your experiences with them are completed at a subtle energy level. This is why it's good to have all relationships in order, even if you don't see them anymore. So forgiving when necessary, releasing old patterns with one another, and on. Just by moving away from one another does not mean that your energies are not entangled. So this is important to keep in mind. So still do the work that you need to do to bring peace to your heart and your mind, even if you don't see your family anymore or other people that you know are really closely connected to you. So the more you need to learn in this lifetime so that you can expand, right? For the universe, we're all doing this for the universe, for the loving source. The closer the soul and the more feelings of connection or love that you're going to feel, because you're supported through love to make healthy expansion changes. However, you might also feel equally uncomfortable feelings from time to time, but the loving creation energy is on your side because you have a greater chance of surpassing those difficulties as well. So the further away you are in your bubble of energy, like the colleagues and neighbors up there in the red or in the green and yellow, far and wide, the less feelings you might have of love, but you are still connected through a web of loving creation energy and affecting them. So trying to be that light, as Brenda mentioned, is very, very invaluable for all of us. And all the changes we go through and the ups and the downs are here to help in the expansion of the universe. And they come out through our lives. We are moving the energy of the universe to help in its expansion. We actually have an extraordinary role in how we affect all that is. So this is why, as we walk the path of unity, to experience unity and understand and live unity, we are on a profound journey. So this is an interesting image. It's actually a dandelion. Thank you, Anne, for finding it for me. So you can see on the left here, so imagine you are that big bubble in the middle, and you can see all the little bubbles around you. And so say this is an example, just as a metaphor, right, of you having a low day. You can see that you're never alone. You can see that other souls, other beings are there supporting you. They're going with you. They're moving with you. They're not going to let you fall too far. Similarly, you have the influence that brings some things, yes, sometimes we bring things down with us, but immediately the others bring their influence upon the loving energy to help bring you up and themselves up. The only thing that can really hold us down is the repetition of negative core beliefs and negative life perceptions and addictions that come out of those, and the substances that we place in our body or around us, and any unhealthy people we might be holding on to. Sometimes we have to set people free so that they can actually expand somewhere else in the web and get what they need. You can see on the right now, you can see that as you expand up and are living in faith and hope and positive expansion, others are following you too. You're all experiencing the movement of each other's life. And the closest bubbles are going closer to you and with you. So how far you grow or how fast you do is also a product of those around you and you to them. So what if someone there on the left side of that web is holding you down and making it harder for you to grow and expand? Again, it's important to remember that sometimes we have to move away from those on the web because they're probably also feeling the same. The interaction is never one way because of our entanglement. So maybe we have served our purpose. Maybe we have given them enough expansion in the web, and it may be time to be lovingly moving on, but not breaking apart so that we don't break holes in that web that will then need to be mended. So if there breaks are in the web, then immediately there will be repairs. And these can appear in many ways. So we have to be gentle as possible, because sometimes when we do repair a break in our web of energy, we do so through illness to wake us up, through relationship endings. There are ways to release without crashing. Or we can also form new relationships within the web and new beginnings at work. These are ways that we also wake up and change our energy to support our place in the universal web. The key is to keep your area, your bubble of influence strong and healthy. And I believe that it's through compassion that is part of the key to this movement through all of our actions. If we are compassionate through all of our actions, we'll see positive growth around us at all times. Because compassion is the action of the creative loving energy that we're moving. And the Buddhists say compassion is the action of love. And I absolutely believe that. I've seen it happen over and over again. I mean, you can move loving energy in many ways, but why not start out moving it with compassion? That way, the complexity of movements within you are fewer and feel less overwhelming. So they're lighter, they're brighter, they're more meaningful, and they move your energy, which therefore moves everybody else's energy in positive, loving ways. With compassion, we stay in greater flow, as does everyone around us in this universal web. So let's remember that love is everywhere. Love is creation energy. Everything you say and do can create something. With every movement, we are being supported through the loving energy in our growth and our expansion, and the expansion for all. It sustains us even when we can't see it. And we can move with it too. We simply use our thinking our prayers and meditations, and extend ourselves to the world around us in positive, compassionate ways. So I hope you'll join me now in a beautiful guided meditation. Please take a moment. Close your eyes. Place your hands on your upper abdomen. Take deep breaths. Feel your belly swelling as you breathe in and deflating as you breathe out gently. And just do this a couple of times. Breathing in and out gently. So now I'm going to ask you to follow me on a walk into the woods. This is a lovely meditation to soothe your body and mind and lighten up your energy. Please imagine yourself sitting in a marvelous field of grasses and flowers where breathing is easy and the sun is shining down over each twinkling blade of grass, flower, petal, or leaf. You feel fully alive and lighthearted. Smiling is easy, and you are ready for your walk in the woods. You can see as you stand up that there is a stream of light in the woods that you're feeling is important to follow, and it's already filling you with peace. As you walk closer to the woods, just on the edge are these plants with full-grown deep red raspberries. You feel welcome to take one and indulge its beautiful, loving flavor. And you'll leave the other raspberries for the deers that are going to come by soon. They love raspberries. Having eaten your delicious red raspberry, you are now stepping into the forest, and you hear the crunching and sounds under your feet of the twigs and years of fallen leaves. Take a deep breath. Then just down to your right, you see a patch of orange sulfur shelf mushrooms coming out of the side of a dead oak tree. They are something special in the mushroom family and very delicious, but only from a deciduous tree, not from coniferous tree. Then they're poison. But you can see how fabulous they look coming out of this oak tree, and are tempted to take some of these magnificent orange mushrooms home. But that's up to you. As you move slowly through the woods, you are delighted by the sounds of the birds and the cicadas, not to mention the gentle sounds of the leaves blowing with the wind. Suddenly you stop and take a deep breath. You're surprised that in the middle of the woods is this 3-foot diameter patch of yellow lilies. Not quite what you'd expect in the middle of the woods. Perhaps someone planted them there many years ago, and the light shining between the trees was able to reach them to help them soar. They are glorious yellow, and you feel such peace when you look at them. You now walk by the lilies and continue to gaze at them until you realize that walking forward also means looking forward. So you turn your head. You continue taking deep breaths and are embracing the cool, vibrant air. You are now taking in more and more of the luscious green grasses that show up periodically. They look so fresh, and if grass could have an emotion, it would be happiness. They seem to be declaring their vibrant green happiness to you, and you can't help but smile more. You're still smiling when you hear the sound of rushing water. You can see a clearing straight ahead, and you're enthusiastic to see where the water is coming from. As you get to the clearing, just to your left, is a joyful waterfall, falling into a pond that lends itself to a creek. You look up to the waterfall top edge and you see the brightest blue color that you've ever seen coming from the sky. Somehow, just above the water, the blue sky looks even brighter than ever. You are so exuberant now and are looking to see if you can find a way to allow the amazing white rushing water to wash you and to wash through you. As you wander alongside the rocks next to the falls, you can see a good-sized path going directly behind the falls. What a great opportunity. So you gently place yourself upon this path and take a deep breath as you walk to the center place behind the falls. You've decided to place yourself under the white rushing water and allow yourself to feel it running through you and over you. So go ahead now and allow the water to wash all the stuck and stagnant energies within you. Wash them away, and then upon your skin and through the energy fields around your body, clearing and clearing, helping you feel brighter and brighter. It feels so incredible. You're feeling more and more refreshed. And you take a step back for a moment, for a breath. And then you take another moment to step again into the amazing white rushing water and allow it to pour virulently through you, cleansing you, and over your body, cleansing you, and in your fields, clearing all stuck and stagnant energies. And it feels amazing. Finally, you're ready to step back again and are ready to lay over there on the grass in the sun to dry up. What an experience. You are rejuvenated. Life feels incredible. What a gift. You're wanting to take some time now just to rest and embrace some time of inner and outer peace before heading back home. Deep breath. And thank you.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, oh, but just for everyone.
Ah, what a beautiful way to end the beautiful talk with that Burt Bacharach and Hal David classic sung by Jackie DeShannon. Oh. Cheryl, thank you so much for your words. I love the synergy that happens here often. You will have noticed it if you hang around Unity, that you and I and Susan all this morning independently brought forth the idea that when we go into the place of rest and peace and love and center, we don't go alone. We bring everything and everyone with us. And what changes in us changes all of that. And that's just a marvelous, marvelous concept. Thank you for sharing. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Love is prosperity. Prosperity is sharing. Sharing is creating. And what we create alters everything, as I just mentioned. Now, I want to mention something. I heard a phrase in a video just the other day, and I loved it. And I'd never looked at prosperity this way, and in terms of a community. In the video, the lady said, "We thank those who have given in the past and those who are giving now." And it really struck me because it made me realize that we in Unity today inherited the legacy of those who gave in community in the past. So let us be generous in our giving, in our time, in giving our time and our talent and our treasure, as we continue to enable our community to thrive and to grow. We will be those shoulders that the next generation is standing on, and we're responsible for the foundation that we're building in this community. So give with all you've got in all ways. It's for the good of all, especially me. So together, let's bask in this sense of abundance and generosity and goodness, and together affirm divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I have, all that I receive, and I am grateful. And I say thank you. Amen. Our community blessing. We're a very precious place to be. And before we hear about the northern saw-whet owl this morning, let's affirm together that Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And we accomplish mighty works together. Now, Ontario, tell us about the northern saw-whet owl.
Okay, so these are one of the smallest owl species in North America. They look like round-headed little gnomes with a round, light white face with brown and cream streaks. They also have a dark beak and yellow eyes. They have this distinct white Y shape there, coloration between their eyes. The female and the male, they look alike, but actually in this species, the female are a bit heavier, maybe 25 grams. You have to realize that these birds are about the size of an American robin, so they fit inside your hand, and they can be up to maybe, let's see, in weight, they go to about 151 grams, so they're pretty tiny. They're found in dense thickets or conifers, often at eye level, but they usually try to hide. Late at night in the breeding seasons, the male will give a rhythmic tooting song that may go on for hours with scarcely a break. And this is the bird's name comes from that sound, which reminds settlers, the first settlers, of the sound of a whetstone sharpening a saw. So the northern saw-whet owls make they're usually they are mated for life, not really for life. The adult will bring all the food to the nest, while the female will feed the young, and the female will remain with the chicks until the youngest is about 18 days old. So that's pretty quick. And then she will start hunting also. The youngs, they will leave at about 4 to 5 weeks, but they will remain together, right? They have this web, like Cheryl was saying, they have this universal web that they are tangled into. but they will still be fed mostly by the male. And the female may sometimes find another mate and decide to nest a second time in the year. The one thing that I found very particular about this owl is that their hearing is so sophisticated. They hunt at night in pure darkness, and they only hunt by sound alone. And that's it.
Thank you, Anne. That was little owl, was so cute. It was like those little ookpicks. Remember ookpicks? You could snuggle. Oh, you are the peace and the love and the light of the world. There is my little light shining right there. That is my mother on the screen. And many of you have met her. Norma Mason is celebrating her 101st year. This is she on her birthday in April. And speaking about let your light shine, my mother has been a shining light as long as I've been around, and much before. So we're a child at every age. We can shine our light at every age. Let yours shine too. Let's affirm together. You are the peace, the love, and the light of the world. Let your light shine. Isn't she beautiful? Now it's September birthday month. We're into a new month. I've got 3 birthdays noted here for today. Linda McCabe has a birthday in September. Debbie Taylor is celebrating, and Ann Terrio's daughter Sandy is also celebrating a birthday in September. We honor and love and celebrate you together. I might have to sign it. There it is. Special happy birthday to everyone in September. We are so blessed. My heart is filled with gratitude for the willingness of so many people to serve in the preparation and presentation of this get-together on Sunday morning. Lots of love and gratitude. Both to, first of all, our speaker this morning, Cheryl Driskell. Thank you for presenting your information in a really interesting way. We're going to have to talk about a workshop as time goes on. I would love to learn more from you. Lynn Atterbury, beautiful job reading the Daily Word. Beautiful choices for the music, as always, every Sunday. Thank you. Susan Hagar, as I mentioned, you touch my heart with the energy and your presence and the spirit that you bring to prayer, serving as a prayer partner. Linda McCabe, she's been in the background again this Sunday, presenting and coordinating the management of our Sunday service in lieu of Sheila, who's still enjoying her vacation. Linda, stellar job again. Thank you so much for saying yes. Who else have I missed? Linda, the USCO board, the leadership that keeps the ship afloat, and for co-hosting, thank you. And everyone, each of you, for being here this morning. We are the US in USCO, and we appreciate you and are glad that you were here. Next Sunday, September 13th, Our celebration of World Day of Prayer will continue. And a quick reminder again, Wednesday and Thursday, there's lots going on. Unity.org has all the information. But next Sunday, Reverend Aaron McCabe, who's the senior minister at Unity Village Chapel, will be doing a video presentation on the way of prayer as a celebration of World Day of Prayer. And I know Linda McCabe, I don't know who else did the online series with Reverend Aaron McCabe, but she's been spoken so highly of by those who have had interaction with her. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you'll be back again to join us next Sunday as we celebrate the way of prayer. Our own way of prayer is Sue Hagar, and she's available all week to pray with you. So contact the office at officeunityottawa@yahoo.ca, and Sue would be pleased and honored to pray with you. You can also, especially this week, there's just a myriad of opportunities to pray. And certainly a couple of them are unity.org online and Silent Unity, 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Hasn't it been a morning? Please stay for fellowship after service, and we can dig a little deeper into the ideas that were presented this morning and bask in the energy of the atmosphere as you can feel this vibration has raised since we first gathered at 10:30. I hope your week moving into September is joyful and joyous and filled with love and harmony and peace and positive relationships all around. So until we meet again next Sunday, namaste.